Hey guys, so I posted a community post the other day with verses from 1 Peter 4:17 and 18. Here's what they say. For the time has come that judgment must begin at the house of God. And if it first begin at us, what shall the end be of them that obey not the gospel of God? And if the righteous scarcely be saved, where shall the ungodly and the sinner appear? Now, lately we've been walking through the book of Romans. A few days ago, we just completed Romans chapter 1, where Paul is speaking about the issue of sin. And although we've not gotten to the verses yet in Romans that discuss how we are to walk now as a child of God, we were still discussing if God abhors the things that people do when he's given them over to a reprobate mind, how much more does he really abhor when his own children walk by the flesh and not by the Spirit? And so these verses came to mind. What we need to understand with these verses is they were written at a time when Nero was in power and he was a really diabolical individual. And so the Christians at that time were facing a lot of persecution. So when we read that word in verse 18, saved, it is the same Greek word sozo, saved, healed, and delivered, but it's not talking about our eternal salvation. It's speaking about being delivered from the persecution or the trials and tribulations that are coming upon these people at that time. And we can apply that for us now. The word of God says that just because we are a born again believer, that we're not exempt from trials and tribulations, but to take heart because Christ has overcome the world. And so even by God's hand, it's, the refiner's fire. The Lord allows certain things to happen, all for his glory, but he delivers us, his children, out of all of these things. And so when we read passages like this, we ought not to take them to mean that, it's really hard for us to be saved. No, the gospel is simple, that a child can understand. It's belief alone in the death, burial, and resurrection of Jesus Christ. But even verse 17 is commonly misapplied. And it's really important not only to understand the context or the surrounding passages of what these sometimes isolated verses that are often used, we need to take the entire counsel of God to really understand the meaning. So I pray that that makes sense to you now. For those of you that had questions about it, remember the Lord loves you with an everlasting love, and Lord willing, I'll be back again soon. Bye-bye.